Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Whitney. I'm with Tutoring. And we're so excited that you guys have joined us today, expecting a few more persons, but it's almost 5 minutes past, so we're going to get started. So today we're all here to discuss or to learn more about the Student Educational Grant initiative that we have going on. I know we're excited about it. Yes, we are because it's our first time doing this, and we hope it's something that we can continue for like an annual thing. We're hoping, but let's see how it goes with this one first. So thank you so much all for displaying your interest. I know some of you would have already submitted your applications or part of your applications. Please note I said part of your applications because we'll discuss this further, but I realized that some persons basically have been submitting half of the application and not the other half. So we will discuss this further because I want you guys to, ensure that your application is complete 100% because only completed applications will be processed. So we'll discuss these further. So our with student team is here. Oh, let me get my screen sharing thingy going. All right, let me just share here. Cool. Let me double check the ensure it's sharing properly, and it is. All right, there we go. Hope it's sharing properly. All right, it is. Or it happens to be. Oh, guys, this is so weird. I was trying to do a testing and didn't work, but apparently this is not sharing as a full screen. I don't know. But anyways, it's technology. It's not me. It's really the technology. But let me try that again. That's weird because it wasn't working like this earlier. Just making sure nothing gets cut off. All right. So our with student team is here with us, and we will be bringing you through the with student educational grants, as you know it. And yeah, we're gonna get into it. Please note, guys, for those of you that have received the email, so we had like two little rules. So we want to have this session move as smooth sailing as possible. So we're asking that, cameras and microphones remain off to avoid any distractions and interruptions. Those cameras can be distracting at times. You don't know what's happening in the backgrounds and the microphones as well. So to, minimize the interruptions throughout the presentations, we ask that the cameras and the microphones remain off, unless, of course, you're asking a question. So you can, of course, unmute to ask a question. However, we're asking that you allow us to present first. So we'll have different presenters on different areas. So allow us to present first and then save the questions. I know that sometimes we may forget the question. So if it's a case where someone is presenting and a question comes up based on something they're presenting, or in that moment you have a question, I know you don't want to forget it, so you can just drop it in the chat. We will be monitoring the chat, so our team will be monitoring the chat and we'll be making note of the questions there. And all these questions will later be addressed in our Q&A segments at the end. So all your questions will be addressed. And I know on the registration form as well, you guys wrote on a few questions. Those questions will also be addressed in our Q&A segment. So yeah, stay tuned. And without further ado, we are going to, let me see if Alicia is here. Oh, yes, she is. We're going to turn over to Alicia to get us started. Oh, all right.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
My camera is on. I don't know if you guys are seeing me.
Hold on. Alicia, I don't even know what I'm technology there with. Just kidding. Oh, no, I'm not seeing you there.
Ooh, I'm not sure what's happening, but my camera is showing me that it's on.
Oh, that's okay. That's fine.
Do you have
Just
a
work on it.
switch on the top of the device? Oh, there we go.
It's on. No. Hi, guys. So I hope whatever I have to present to you guys will be fruitful, it will be informative, and everything will be clear. So specifically, I will be presenting on the criteria for someone who wants to apply for or with tutoring educational grants. All right. So our persons who are interested, you must fall between a certain category. You must either recently completed your grade 6 PEP exams, you are currently being enrolled in grade 11 or sixth form in the coming school year, or you are currently enrolled or accepted to start any college or university in the upcoming school year. We're not limiting this to specific schools, colleges, none of that. Once you have recently completed your grade 6 PEP exams, you are currently going in grade 11 or sixth form program, or any college or university, we're not limiting it to any one of them, right? You must have obtained at least a B average, simple, a little B average, or your GPA must be 3.0 in the recent school year. All right. For our PEP applicants, you must have a minimum of 270 as your placement score. And we all know you must demonstrate a need for this educational grant, right? So the criteria are quite simple, and I'm sure each person on this platform tonight, you must have seen yourself as having one of these criteria in which you have to which you have been demonstrating interest, right? So the criteria are quite simple, and I think each of you are qualified. The fact that you are here at this webinar actually to show an interest. Also, there are some required documents that you need, right? So we need your most recent transcript for our college or university students. Your latest report card is only accepted for PEP applicants, right? Or I would say not only for PEP applicants, but for those who are also going in grade 11, right? Um, if you're starting a new school, we need proof of acceptance. CXC examination certificates for those who have recently finished high school and you're entering college. We know you might not get the official one as yet, but we know there's the visual one that you're able to download before you get the actual one. That is also acceptable. And for the PEP applicants, your PEP results that you got that printed is acceptable. A letter of recommendation from a teacher or principal. It doesn't matter the teacher, once the teacher have taught you recently, it will be accepted, or one from your principal. So we're not sending you out of the way. We have many options. So you can either get it from a teacher, your former principal, a guidance counselor, or a JP or a pastor. So instead of hearing that, oh, I'm not able to get this, we have given you many options, right? And it's just one letter, not more than one, just one letter of recommendation from a teacher, a principal, a guidance counselor, JP, or pastor, right? All right. So we need an essay outlining the need for the grant, right? This essay, only the applicants should write this essay. We need each person that is applying for this grant, they are the ones who should pour out their hearts in the essay to us, right? If there's a parent on this webinar at the moment listening for your child, please do not write the essay for your child and submit it for them saying it was written by them. Please allow the child, especially for the PEP applicants, please allow the child to write and express their self. Please. We need a passport size or a professional headshot. So you can use your phone if you can't get a passport size. Use your phone and take a headshot showing chin up. That is accepted. A letter or other applicable official documents from your institution showing other school related expenses. Right? So if you're submitting, we know you demonstrate a need for this grant, but we need a letter to show either your tuition fees or something showing what you would gear as needing the money for, right? So if you need it for financial help towards your tuition, let us see that, right? A financial status statement of account from school or copy of applicant's payslip or job letter for persons who are supporting applicants. So in other words, even though you're submitting for a financial grant, we need to see a letter to show what it's needed for. And if you're getting other supports, we need to see just a little letter or something to show. Just give us all necessary information in this letter so that we can know, hey, this person gets help from here, this person needs the grant to apply to their tuition, this, that, whatever it is, just state it in these two letters. All right?
And just to add right there, Alicia, so it's not, so these last 2 points is not really a either or case. So the official document from the school is what tells us that, hey, this is really your tuition. So if you record on the application form that your tuition is 400,000 for the year, the letter from the school is what we use to substantiate that. Of course, I know some schools don't necessarily give you a letter of your tuition, especially if you're not new students. So, like for the UE students, I know you guys have this document that is published. We will accept that because we know it's published from UE, so we will accept that as well. But we want something that shows your tuition. So, for like those going to perhaps high school, if your school could just write a letter to say that your school fees this, or sometimes the school don't even need to write a letter specific to you, because I know some schools they do give out like that thing, especially when you're at the start. They give you something that shows your tuition on it. That's what we want. That thing that the school would give you that shows your tuition, that's what the second to last point basically is, which is different from the financial status. So the financial is not either or, so please be mindful of that one. The financial status is what we will use to verify that this person actually, want the financial assistance toward their education. Because there are some persons out there who they really want the financial assistance toward their education because it's not cheap. We know it's expensive, guys. But there are persons out there who they probably don't even want it, but they still apply and they take the chance from somebody who really wants it. You understand? So we just want to make sure that we're really making our impact and we're really giving somebody who wants it. We're not cheating somebody who wants it by giving it to somebody who really don't want it but still apply for it. Because there are persons like that out there. So the financial status, this for like I will most refer to like UE in some cases because I was a U student. So for example, I know you have BOSS that you can go on to get your financial statement of account. That will show like the amount of money pending on your what you call it, your balance, your account balance. So it shows you that okay, you owe this amount to the school, for example. Or if that's not available, because remember it's open to so many range of persons from different institutions, we can also accept a copy of your payslip. If you as the applicant, you're working, a copy of your payslip or your job letter that shows your income, that can be accepted. Or if you're supported by somebody, like you are not working, let's say you have a parent who supports you, and then for prep students especially, I don't expect prep students to be working. So for in those cases, then the payslip or job letter from the person supporting the applicant is accepted. So these are two separate things, guys. So please note all these required documents, they're all separate. All right. Thank you. Remember to drop the questions in the chat as we go along, and we'll address them later on. All right, Alicia, thank you. Back over to you. Yeah.
All right. So we talked about our essay earlier, which will be the main part of us selecting the successful applicants. So for our PEP applicants, your essay should be between 200 and 300 words. For our applicants outside of PEP, meaning or applicants going in grade 11, sixth form, or university, your essay should be between 350 and 500 words, right? So once again, for our PEP applicants, your word limit is between 200 to 300 words. And for our applicants outside of our PEP applicants, your word limit is 350, between 350 and 500 words. And we are giving you two options, right? So one, you're either going to tell us about your current career dreams and aspiration. What are you working towards achieving and why? Or two, you are either going to tell us how this grant will assist your educational journey and why being chosen as an awardee is so important to you. So two simple essay prompts we're giving you. It's nothing hard. So take the time and think about it and then write out your heart and submit it. Please remember the word limit for PEP applicants, it is between 200 and 300 words. And for our applicants outside of PEP, it is between 350 and 500 words. And once again, for our PEP applicants, parents, please do not write the essays for the awardees or prospective awardees. Please allow them to write it for themselves. Let them express themselves to us. If you write it for them, they will not be able to express themselves because you did it. So allow them to write it. We know you're going to help them enough, but allow them to write it and then you submit it. That way, we will know where their thoughts are. We will know what exactly. Judine will come to you shortly, where their thoughts are, what they're thinking, and what they want us to know. Right? Express your heart, guys. Express all that you think is necessary and choose the prompt that you think is best for you. All right? Moving right along. Judine, you can go ahead and post your question in the chat.
So long.
Moving
It's
right
sort of a
along.
long. I just want to say something. I don't know if I can type it.
Go ahead.
It's regarding the essay because I have a daughter who just sat PEP, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how she's going to write the essay because I'm the one who is actually facing the financial burden, right? She don't know anything about me and my financial struggles. So I don't know how is she going to really write the essay for herself because I want the grant for her to help with her.
All right. So since you're the one doing it, um, for example, right, you can maybe use a way. All right. So this is what I can say. For example, you're choosing prompt one. Have a discussion with her, right? Have a discussion with her. Let her talk about her current career dreams and aspirations, what she wants to achieve in life, and all of that. While she's telling you all of that, have her write it down, or while she's have her write it down and then put her thoughts together. So, whatever prompt that you're choosing, have a discussion with her about it, right? So while she's telling you the information, you're actually having her write it down, and then you will use that as her essay to submit,
Mhm.
right? If that's for prompt one. So have a discussion with her. Have so you're basically having a conversation with her and have her express her current dreams and aspirations to you, what she wants to work towards and why, and that can be her essay submitted. For our second prompt, For our second prompt, you are still having a discussion with her, but while you're having a discussion with her and she's expressing herself, you are also allowing her to write it, right? Or you can be taking notes.
Alicia, sorry
Yes,
to
ma'am?
cut you, but for like the prep ones, it would mostly be prompt one that relates to them in that sense, especially given what Judith just mentioned on her side, because really and truly they're young, yes, we know they're young, but trust me, they do have dreams and aspirations just the same. And we don't, the thing is, guys, there's no interview process for this, right? So, some scholarships and grants, they have interviews. We don't have interview processes. So the essay is how we really get to know the candidate. And if the candidate is the student and the parents write the essay, how are we getting to know the student through that essay if the parent writes it from their perspective? So the younger ones can just stick to prompt one. Prompt two is a bit more down in, like, yeah. So the younger ones can stick to prompt one. They can write it. And if their parents saying that the child cannot write essay, they can, because trust me, they had to write essays for their prep exams. So they do have the potential to write it. Just allow them to talk about themselves, allow them to talk about, where they're currently at. Because, you know, they're young, yes, but they have an idea of what they may want to do with their life, as we go through different stages in life. So when you were in grade six, when you were 13 or 12, you probably wanted to be something else than you are now. That's fine. But whatever their current career dreams and aspirations are, what do they want to be? Why are they interested in that? They can write it. They have to write a lot of essays at PEP level, English and social studies, right? They write for social studies, right, Alicia?
Right.
Yeah, so potential in terms of writing the essay, they can do it. In terms of the parent notes in the financial part, there's a part in the scholarship application form, where you as the parent, if you want to state that little extra piece for you based on that financial side of it, to express that, as a parent, this is whatever, and you tell us some more about that situation, there's actually a part in the application that you can do with that. There's a part on the application that we allow you to basically use that space to tell us basically anything. Anything that you want us to take on a special consideration, there's that part on it. So allow the child to write the essay. Prompt one specifically is mostly for the PEP students, because prompt two is a bit more, deeper than prompt one. So they can write about their career dreams. And of course, as a parent now, you can express the financial aspects of it, the challenges and the need to get them the assistance in that part of the application form that asks you to state anything else for our consideration. When we get to the application form, I'll show you where exactly that is on the form. Make sense?
Yes, it does. So as I said, Judine, if you think she's not able to, she is. If it's a her, sorry, or he is. But if you think he's not, or him or her, have a discussion with them, have them talk, and while they're talking, let them write. Or just let them write, and then you submit for them. So stick to prompt one for our PEP applicants, guys. Step prompt two, our other applicants can use them. Or if you think you're one of our other applicants and you want to stick to prompt one, that's fine. Moving right along, guys. You might wonder, is the application period currently open? Yes, it is currently open, and it has been open from Tuesday, July 15, and the application period will close August 15, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. So even though you're on this webinar currently, you still have time to submit your applications, right? So it is currently open now from July 15 to August 15, 2025 at 11:59. Remember, everybody has something in them. Let us see it and see where you are where you are applying, and we will review your essays and choose the best candidate. Remember, guys, one person will be selected from each category. You do not know if that one person may be you. You're on this webinar tonight. You might be considering if you should submit your application. I encourage you to do so. You do not know if that one lucky person might be you. So, guys, I hope all that I have presented was useful or important to you guys, please go ahead, submit your applications. Remember, the application period has been open from July 15 and it will close on August 15 at 2025. On August 15, 2025 at 11:59 p.m., you do not know if that one lucky person will be you.
All right, thank you so very much, Alicia. So yes, guys, so remember, just to reiterate what Alicia would have mentioned here. So remember these three categories. So our aim is to give at least one person out of each category. So there will be at least three persons, right, who is awarded. But if you guys are not applying for the categories either, then somebody else can get it. So just make sure that you go ahead and apply. Take a chance on yourself because I know sometimes persons are like, let me apply. I'm not get it either way. I know we think like that sometimes, but take a chance on yourself, guys, because if you don't, who will? All right. So moving on, we're gonna give you some tips, some general tips now when you're applying for your scholarships and grants, and we'll invite Kendall, one of our tutors, to come ahead and present.
So, good evening, everyone. Thank you as well, Whitney. As introduced, I'm Kendall Dawes. I'm the biology tutor for WITS Tutoring, and I also tutor Pep Sciences. So, I'm here to just share some tips generally to help you prepare and give you a frame of mind when getting into applying for grants and scholarships. So, for everything we do, we need to be organized. So, get organized early. So, gather background information. As Elisa would have said, you need like the reference letters, any transcripts that are necessary. You'd reach out and get them early. You'd need time to process them. So the earlier you reach out to the institutions, the better and easier you'd be able to get them and apply within the application window. So some, as you would mention, like the JPs, the ministers, any counselor, guidance counselor, even your principal could be a reference. So you need to start your research. So search smart and search wide. So we're not the only persons giving grants. So to increase your odds of getting a grant, if you really need the funding, increase your pool. So go on different websites, go on different bodies to get the grants. So just search around to ensure that you can increase the odds of actually getting the help. Because you won't necessarily reach out if you don't need it. So to not put the eggs in one basket, search wide so you can increase your odds. So do research on the body that is also giving the grant. So as you mentioned earlier, go onto our platform, browse through the application form if you can, see what it's like so you can get a feel of how things would be in preparation for the grant. So that will also lead to the third point where you have a clear understanding of why you would need the grant and you can also express it in your essays. So from prompt one, you will have an understanding of what you want to do, even if it is just for next year. So by being able to express that, you will also be able to relate it in the essays so we can actually understand it. So you make it relatable so we can be compelled to see why you would need these grants and why you need assistance. So you can check local sources, you can check with the guidance counselors for different grants as well. You can check with different organizations so you can also be prepared and equip yourself with enough information. So with all of that, you'll be able to get a clear understanding of why you need the grants, and that will help to make you very more competitive. So that will also lead to you maximizing on your application. Be careful to read instructions carefully. So many applicants are disqualified because they don't complete everything. As Whitney said, we can start the application process, but if you don't complete it, you have not submitted the application, so it's going to be disregarded. Even if you had the most convincing essay and somebody else completed the other parts of the application, that person would get the preference because they completed it, and it wouldn't be fair for someone to not complete something versus somebody else. So the odds are in your favor if you complete the application. It's not a first come, first serve. You need to really be convincing. So tell us why you need it. Express to us your dreams, your aspiration, things that really pull us to you. Let us be invested in your story. So you should write your story. You should let us know why you need it. So being convincing, having the instructions down to the T really gives you an edge. So tailor each application. Don't just go online and look for an example and then put it there. Because even some of the times we have a word limit because we don't want it to go all over the place. So you keep it in a certain word limit. You keep the information condensed, but you still want to relate it so we can understand your need. Next slide, please. You can also feel free to browse through the internet and see other things just to help you to have an understanding. But at the end of the day, we want it to be as relatable as possible. I think I saw a hand being raised.
Sorry, Kendall, that was my mistake when I was trying to skip the slide.
All right, no problem. So apply broadly, be precise. So even though you're going wide, you still want to keep it central. So a lot of grants might offer full funding, part funding for books, for transportation. So as I said, if you have a lot of grants out there, you can also have a lot more options available to you. So you can always be a lot more comfortable heading into the school term. So as I said, apply for many. Think of it like a part-time job. If you have a job, it can be a main source of income, but having a side hustle also helps to give you an extra edge. So having more than one grants out there means your odds are increased. So don't ignore the small grants. Some grants might just be for books, as I mentioned, so they might not necessarily give you a whole heap. So for university, that would be different because some of the tests are really up there. But for the school fees and the book list separately, even for the PEP students, it might not be as much, but still having a little here and a little there goes a far way. So they can reapply each year because some of them might not be reoccurring. So you have to submit the application each time. So those are also some things that can be mindful of to ensure that you can continue getting funding. Because if it is a need, the need won't just end for this year. It can continue. And with that push of the grants that you're getting, you'll also be able to focus on other things. So even like the question Mommy mentioned earlier, the students or children might not know directly the financial strain, but they're observant. They can see and relate to even changes slightly in the moods or the faces of the parents, and they can still express that so we can understand. So they can know that Mommy might have had to work a little later. Mommy might not be as happy because she never get to do what she wanted to do. And if promises aren't kept because of financial strain, children also observe those things. So you can just have a conversation with them, as Alicia would say, be able to get their understanding and just work with the prompt that would be a lot easier for you to really express on. All right? So those would be mainly my tips that I would be able to give right now. So I'll turn over back to the presenter, and I hope these go a far way in your level of preparation.
Thank you, Kendall. I must admit, guys, those were some solid tips. And of course, those tips are general. It's not just specific towards our grants. It's for any scholarships or grants that you guys want to apply for. I know mostly scholarship season would have passed earlier this year. I think we've gotten the question like, so for example, yes, the question that I heard, like, how is it that we're doing this so late? Like, far down when it's close to school, you know. But guys, look at it. Oh, my camera. Look at it, guys. It's like another opportunity, right? So most of the scholarships and grants, those application periods and those are awarded from like up top in the May, June, April. Come down right down there, so yeah, that's scholarship season, right? That's where most of them are. What if you missed out on that season? What if for some reason life happens, you weren't in tune with certain things. You didn't decide if you were going to school as yet. You didn't get any acceptance. You understand what if your stuff wasn't started out from that time? You have just missed all the opportunities because all of them just jump up in a one season, 1 month, or one period. So with ours now coming out of the norm of scholarship period, then this is the next opportunity for you. What if you get a scholarship from up there? So, but it's still not enough because guys, we know. Listen, I went through university, and you know what brought me through? Scholarships and grants, literally. Because you're like, sometimes you get one, and I say, all right, this is one here to cover maybe 80,000. My tuition at 300,000. we still are gonna need more, you understand? So what if you get one up there, so but you still need more? You get a next opportunity, guys. Look at it like this. It's another opportunity for you. If you miss up there, so to apply for things up there, you have a next opportunity down here. So if you still need more money, you have a next opportunity. And I know a question may be, if you already get a scholarship or a grant, is it a case where we will not consider you? No. Once whatever you have received doesn't exceed what you need, we will still consider you. Because we know, say, you can probably get, you already get a 50,000 grand or 100,000 grand. That no cover all of your expenses, not true. So we're not gonna strike you off and say, oh, you get some help already. No, you still need more help. So you will still be considered, guys. So I know that's a burning question many of you may have. So don't worry about that. You'll still be considered. Once you know exceed basically what you need. Understand? Alright. So we're gonna turn over to some essay writing tips. So we talk about the essays, and yeah, we know the little students they can write their essays too, guys. Trust me. Listen, like we help them with these things. And I like the fact that Elisa presented earlier. She's one of our PEP's tutors, and she has done so many essay writings with the kids when it relates to like social studies and things like that. So we know they have the potential to do it. So we're just gonna turn over to Ronika, our Spanish tutor, to dive into some tips on writing your essays. Guys, this grant specifically doesn't have an interview to it. We're not gonna interview you guys. Some interview, but we won't. So the essay is where we get to know you, where we get to, connect with you and learn more about you and your situation. So don't take the essay part lightly. This is you telling us your story. So Ranika is going to give us some tips here on how you can make your application, your essay stand out. You're muted, Ranika.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Thank you, Whitney. As mentioned, my name is Ronika Robinson, and I am the Spanish tutor. I hope that we're all still tuned in because I myself is a recent scholarship recipient and I had to write multiple essays. So I really think I have something valuable to say as it pertains to this. And the first tip is to, are we on the slide? Yes. The first tip is to use relatable language. So, as Whitney mentioned, we will not interview you. So, this is your chance to show the committee who you are. It's not a school essay. We are not grading you. As long as you don't have a bunch of spelling errors, you don't need to be really on that professional language game because we are humans. We have feelings and we are reviewing your essay. So, if it's like you're really pouring your personality in it. We can see your situation. We can empathize with you. You'll probably be awarded that grant considering all aspects of your application are completed. Yes. So it's not a school essay. You don't have to make it really, really fancy. Just ensure that everything is presented concisely and we can relate to you. So use up your jokes. You don't have to overdo it, but get your personality in there. The next tip is that ChatGPT does not know your story. Yes, ChatGPT writes with flawless grammar, it does your work quickly, but only you know your story and only you can present it in a way that is truly understandable because you are the one who went through it. So even if ChatGPT can make it look really perfect, we don't want a perfect story. We want something that is relatable, something that we can understand and say, yes, this is someone who I can feel for. This is someone who really needs help and I want to help them. It's not an essay competition. It's really about how you present yourself. Even, and I know that it can be overwhelming with all the essays and you're saying, but if I should just make ChatGPT write it for me in 5 minutes, it's tempting. I know. But we will be able to tell. Even if you edit it, there's just something about AI that makes it really obvious that you're not the one who's telling the story. So please write your own essays. Also, you can start with a captivating hook. And for this, I'll give an example. So I was writing my own scholarship essay, and I started out, I have never considered myself a thief. No, that will make the person who is reading listen and say, why are they considering themselves a thief now? What did they do? I want to read more. So sometimes it's not about the information you have, it's how you present it and starting with a hook that really draws the reader in. Because realistically, we'll probably be reading through all of your essays in one day, we'll probably be tired, and having that hook can really get our attention, pull us out of that tiredness, and have us really listen to you. So start with something that you can tie back to your prompt, and once your attention is with you, it will stay there throughout the essay and we'll be able to say, oh, this is a good essay, etc. Yes. And the next tip also ties in with this, and it is to use metaphors. So instead of saying something like, I succeeded at this, you can say, I got to eat the delicious fruits of my labor. Something. Metaphors help us to visualize what you're talking about, even though it's just an essay and we are reading it. But once you use up your metaphors, we can really connect with it and say, oh, this is kind of genius. We can see that the person who is writing is pouring everything in it with these connections. Because as you said, we won't have an interview. It's kind of closed-ended. So you using these metaphors will really help us to tune in with you and visualize what you're talking about. Maybe even connect it to your favorite food, like something that means a lot to you. Just even if you're writing about your struggles, you can tie it in with something that is really meaningful to you and help us to see what you value as a person. Are we on the next slide? Yes, we are. Wait, can you go back on the last slide? Okay, perfect. The next step is to connect everything to a central theme and do not drone on pointlessly. So before writing your essay, it's good to ask, what message do I want them to get? Because it's easy to talk about something, but you don't wrap it up or you don't come to an effective conclusion, right? So for example, say someone is writing about their dog and how their dog got lost. You don't just write about how the dog got lost, how you were really sad and you found the dog. We want to know what happened. So you can say, because my dog got lost, I learned this lesson and I won't do this again. So with everything that happens, you want to know what you learned from it and just ensure that you always come back around full circle, right? So with every problem, you need to include the solution. And that's going to come in with a future tip as well. Okay, thank you. So always ensure that they are getting the message as intended and that everything connects to each other. The next tip is to show instead of telling. This is by far one of the most talked about tips, and trust me, it works. It does wonders for your essay. So if something asked you to talk about what kind of person you are, and you said, I'm a creative person, I'm a leader, instead of just saying those things, putting it to perspective adds so much more value. So you can recount an experience that shows your leadership. You can talk about an example of something that shows this personality trait. And even if you don't say it explicitly, the readers will be able to tell that, oh, yes, they're this kind of person because of this. So some things are better off being shown than told. So please remember that. Also, there's this method I always practice using in my, okay, I'm just checking that I'm on the right slide. I always use this within my essays, and it's a problem plus solution method. It doesn't matter if it's a problem you came upon in the past, a current problem, or a problem you think you'll face in the future. Once you name a problem, you have to name a solution. We want to know that you are someone who is trying in every situation to get over it. So even in the grants, if you're going to talk about your financial struggles, say how you plan to overcome them. Like this grant is what will help me to overcome these struggles. Make us want to just hand the money to you. And using this method shows us that you are really a problem solver, and that is the type of person who we want to invest in ultimately. So always show that you have an aptitude to solving your problems, even in the past. When you talk about a past problem that you face, talk about how you solved it, how you solve your problems in the future. Once you mention a problem, always mention a solution and show them that you are really about taking action. Also, a tip, especially for persons who have problems sitting down and writing, or you just want everything to be perfect, because trust me, I'm a perfectionist as well. A tip is to just brain dump everything on the page. Don't worry about refining it. Don't worry about fixing the grammar. Even if the words aren't spelled correctly at first, just write everything out, write all your ideas, and then you can go through and condense it, and everything will come together. Trust me, it will. But you don't have to worry about the fancy stuff in the initial stages. Just write out everything that's on your mind, that's on your heart, and you can always fix it at a later date. And the ideas also flow way better this way. The final tip is to ensure that essays are submitted without errors. This is a big one that will show us that you really put a lot into it, into the revision process. So before submitting, just do a final pass, ensure that everything is spelled correctly, ensure that the tenses agree with each other. And if you're writing it digitally, you'll often see some red lines if something is wrong. So you can just click on those, see what's wrong, and maybe have someone review it for you, not write it for you or rewrite it, but just to ensure that everything flows like it is supposed to. So I hope these tips were useful, and thank you so much for listening, and I wish you guys all the best.
Thank you, Ranita. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Some solid tips, guys. Listen, I mean, I think this is something that we've all, like, this entire team, we're very familiar with these things because, yeah, we've been there, done that, guys, literally. As I mentioned, like, to me, right through my 3 years at UE, scholarships and grants straight through. So we kind of, so these tips, they're coming from experiences from persons who have been successful in the past. So just trust us, And then the idea with the mark on the essay them too, or with the read them. So getting the tips from us to see what we're looking for, as that must count for something, right? So let's tell us your story, guys. I've started to get some of the stories, like, through conversations, persons have been talking while they're inquiring about certain things. And, we've been having discussions. And honestly, the stories have started to touch me already. The thing is, we would love to give everybody, but, limited resources, limited funding, and all of that. So it will be difficult for us. Trust me, we're going to have a difficult time selecting our awardees. But don't make it easy for us by not completing the application process and all you need to do. Because if you don't, then it's going to be easy for us, really and truly. Right? Because we have to have completed application. Thank you very much, Shanika. Those are some solid tips. And yeah, just follow them, guys. Recent scholarship awardee. All right. So questions. So let me see what we had in the chat. So we have some questions here that we're going to address. On the application form, you guys would have, not the application form, sorry, the registration form. You guys would have noted some questions that you would like to be addressed in the session. So we're going to start off with those, and then we're going to jump into the chat. Oh, if you have additional questions, this is where we're open now. So this is where. So first, I'm going to read some questions and answer them. Then you guys are going to get the floor to, unmute and ask your questions or post in the chat if you are unable to unmute or if you wish not to. So, all right, so is this grant a one-time thing or do I have to sign up each year? So this grant, guys, it is not, what's the word? Renewable? I think you have a little word. Basically, you would have to reapply each application period. So it will not roll over. So like for prep students who are just gonna start off now and you're gonna start off high school and you get this assistance to start off grade 7, it doesn't mean that every year that comes you're gonna automatically, it's not automatic, so you won't automatically get the grant every year for the rest of the 5 years. You would have to reapply each year. So it's not renewable is the word? Yeah. So you have to reapply each application period. So every time an application is open, you can reapply. All right. So this person wanted to know about the process and the requirements. So I think we'd have went through the process, how to apply. We're going to show the application form later, and we would have discussed the requirements earlier. Are students expected to maintain a certain GPA or performance level? No, there is a GPA criteria, right, guys? 3.0 GPA, B average, 70% for placement score of minimum 270, etc., etc. So that is the grade requirement. However, in terms of maintaining a grade, once we give it to you, we're not going to take it back from you because it's not renewable either way. So it's not going to automatically renew every year. It's just that when you come next year or next application period and you want to reapply, just make sure that you still meet that application period grade requirements, because we're not saying every application period the criteria will remain the same. What if next year when they come now a different criteria, a different grade? You understand? So once you meet the criteria for that specific application period, you can apply. In terms of you maintaining a grade, so let's say you had the grade when you got it for September, we're not gonna come in the middle of December and take it back from you because your grades then fall. No. Once you get it, you get it. But just know that to reapply in the next application period, you would need to meet that specific grade requirement. Okay? There's a question here. What happens if a student does not meet the academic requirements after receiving the grant? And I think I just answered that in that previous question as well. After you get the grant, if they don't meet it, well, that's just it because you already get it. So we're not going to take it back from you. We're hoping that you would work to maintain your grade and, continue to do well so you can get through this school process fine and easy. But we're not going to take it back if you fall. Just know that it may affect you applying again for the next application period if it's a case where next time you apply, you don't meet the grade requirements. That is for that application period. All right, so I don't know if this person is on, but this person said, I'm going to be a first-year student at UWI. I only have my high school transcript from 2022. I graduated MBCC last year, so I don't have an updated transcript. Are my CSEC and CAPE results enough? All right. So if it's a case where you were attending college, the transcript from that can work as well. Yes, your CXC and CAPE results can also work as well. So how is the form looking? I think I'm going to look at the form. The form has, I think it may have two separate places to upload those. So the transcript from your last institution, no matter how long you attend that institution, that can work. So if it's you guys can actually use your unofficial transcript as well. You don't have to get the official transcript from the school that you have to pay for. So if you can get it from your school's portal, unofficial transcript can also work. Your 6 and CAPE results, yes. But if it's a case where you did college already, that's most recent schooling. So we prefer to see that transcript from your college. That's your most recent schooling. So C2nd CAPE, you already passed that. You're not applying for the college when you're applying for university, right? So it's the most recent schooling transcript that we really want to see. So even if you give us your C2nd CAPE, the fact that you went to college and you completed there, we want to see that last transcript that shows your last academic performance, basically. Okay, let me see. We have some more questions here. Oh, so we addressed one earlier. Does the student have to be living in Montego Bay? No. Yeah, I'm actually not from Montego Bay, guys. So If I had to do a parish restriction, it wouldn't even be for St. James, to be honest. It would be for my home parish of Hanover, if there had to be a parish restriction, which there isn't any. So it doesn't matter which parish you're from, which school you attend, doesn't matter which field of discipline. I don't care if you're studying to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be an accountant. It doesn't matter your discipline of study. It doesn't matter the school that you attend or attended. It doesn't matter the parish that you're in. Yeah, we're not restricting it to those things. Is it okay to submit CXC certificate that we receive, or should it be transcribed from the CXC office? You can use your preliminary slip, guys. I know CXC has this new digital thing where when you get your results, you can get the preliminary slip through the portal. You can use that, of course, because I know especially for the persons who just sat their exams, the actual certificate from CXC wouldn't be ready as yet. So you can use your preliminary slip if the actual certificate isn't ready. But if you have the actual certificate, just take a picture of it or scan it and upload it. We prefer that over the preliminary slip. But if the certificate itself from CXC isn't ready, preliminary slip is fine. And I know that results not come out yet, so you guys can submit your results after the application deadline. If it's a case where you don't get the results before the deadline. Deadline is next week Friday, by the way. All right, question here. If I'm currently working but will have to stop working when I start classes, will a job letter still be okay for my current job? Yeah, that is fine. Because you're currently working, so it will still be okay from your job since it's still your current job at this moment. So that is totally fine, no problem. All right, guys. So I think I exhausted the questions that I've gotten from the form and the chat. Oh, here's a question. What if you're not currently working and don't get any continuous assistance from anyone? All right, that's a good question. So in that case, I do understand that. Trust me. Let me tell you what I had to do one time, guys. I was applying, it's the middle of COVID, I don't know about now working at COVID time. And I was a student at the time, so I wasn't employed. My mom was unemployed at the time because, COVID time. So she worked at a school. So school and keep. So if school and keep, she didn't have a job. And my father is self-employed and COVID mashed up everything, so he wasn't working either. So I never have no payslip or no job letter to submit to get the scholarship. So what I did was wrote a letter. So what you guys can do in that case is to write a letter. So that would fall under this. This question would fall under this part. That talk about the financial status where you would put the job letter, the pay slip. If that's the case, guys, there's no continuous support from anyone. You're not currently working. You can just write us a letter to just upload it at that part. Just a little letter, no fancy long official you know have to be. Just a little explaining that you're currently unemployed. You are also not receiving any continuous support from anyone. Yada yada yada, and yeah. All right, got it. Questions are answered. Any more questions? You guys can post in the chat, raise your hand, or move this thing. Raise your hand if you want to unmute and ask any questions. Oh, sorry, just raise my hand. Sorry, guys. I'm navigating this thing. Okay, no questions? No more questions? Because if there's no more questions, I'm going to show you one final thing before we close off. We're 2 minutes over time. So, all right, we're okay. Can give me a little thumbs up and a little thumbs down or a little something. We're good? Everybody's on point, attentive. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna go back here. So, all right. Now here's something. I'm gonna go on the application form first. Let me go on this first. This is an information sheet. This is actually attached to the application form, which we know that enough people don't read. We know some don't read it, and we don't read it. But here, it also has. Let me zoom in a little bit. Here we have basically all the requirements. So this application period, basically what we presented, all the requirements are here. Teacher? The required documents, so your most recent transcript. Oh yes, the transcript is different from the CXU certificate, as you can see. Letter of acceptance, only if you're starting a new school, guys. Your recommendation, letter of recommendation, please make sure there's somebody who knows you write the recommendation. Yeah, go ahead, Jodine. Trust me, guys. Ask all the questions you know want. I love getting questions. Go ahead. You can unmute.
Um. All right. The application process ends what? August 15th?
Yes, next week, Friday.
That's roughly about 5 days from now, 6 days from now. What if we don't get all the documents in time?
All right. Good question. Because you can actually submit the application without all the documents and then submit the rest of the documents afterwards.
Okay,
So
because I would
that's
have to
fine.
visit the schools and all of that. Okay.
Yeah, man, we understand, no problem. Because I know sometimes these documents they take a while, especially if you learn about the grant late, so, or
Yes.
some results still not come out yet, or CXC results still not come out yet. So things like that, I understand. So submit the application, make sure you submit it before the deadline, and just give the documents them after.
So how do we submit the documents after? Will there be a portal open for that?
Yes, so there's actually a documents portal separately. So let me go back to this slide and show you guys. There is a portal. Hold on. So the documents portal is separate, and you can also email. But what I ask you guys to do, if it's a case where you know that you're not submitting everything right now, some documents are pending, there is that part in the application form where you guys can literally give all so many information that you can say to us, hey, these are not ready as yet. They will be submitted at a later date, just so we can have the heads up to know. So this is the document submission portal. It's a different portal from the main form. So please make sure say don't just submit this document something. Have to submit the main application form as well. It's just that the forms are uploaded, the documents themselves are uploaded somewhere else. Got that?
Okay.
Yeah. So this can be submitted. You can just complete this and submit this before the deadline. There should be nothing holding you back from submitting this before the deadline. And of course, you can now submit this document submission form afterwards when all your documents become available. Or you can also send them via email if it's a case where there should be any technical difficulties with the form. All right, so for persons who submitted already, just submit via email. So if it's a case where you did this document submission form and everything wasn't submitted, then you can submit the remaining documents via email. Or if it's a case where you submitted this application, but you did not submit anything for the document submission form, you probably would have lost the link to it because the link is embedded in the original application. So you can just send us a message to get the specific link to go back to the submissions form here. But you don't need to submit two document submission form. One is fine. For anything outstanding, email is fine. But here, make sure you guys note this. If you're submitting anything via email in the documents, please try to make the subject as clear as possible that, this is for the grant, your name is there, and your document, it's whatever documents. So, yeah, based on the subject, we know say, all right, open this with a little urgency, or open this when it's time to review application so I don't miss it. So make sure you have a subject that clearly states it's your documents for your with tutoring educational grant, and put your name in the subject as well. So we can always find it easily when we're reviewing applications. All right, so this is the form, guys. Any more questions? All right. Not more questions yet. Hope I didn't miss any. All right, so this is the form, guys. So some of you would have already seen this right here. So many also don't read it. The part was right here. So this right here, many also don't click on read and understand. But if you click on this right here on the form, for those who haven't submitted as yet, if you should click here before the son read and understand, we can just click this right here. So the requirements, because there's a little instruction that says you must click on the link to read whatever. So this is what you click on, and then this document pops up. That Word document I was showing you guys, it's in the application form. So it contains all the requirements, all your required documents, the criteria that you need to meet, the application deadline, everything. Letter of recommendation, you guys can address it. I've been getting this question, so you can address the letter of recommendation to myself with the box. So here is where you can address it to, or to whom it may concern. It's fine as well. The essay prompt is there. Guys, please note, don't write your own essay and make up your own things. Please use one of the prompt them our go and just clearly state which one, if it's number one or number two you pick. You're not write with the entire prompt. Just write number one or number two. So we can at least have an idea when we are ready to know which one. Okay? And be guided by the word limits. Don't give me one tells the words to read. I beg or no, because remember, guys, enough applications, enough essay we go for read. So nobody give me one 2,000 word essay. Stick to the word limits, please. Like give me one 5 sentence either, guys. And I'm telling a story, like telling a story so we can connect with you guys. We can connect with you through an essay. Don't worry, we can. Just give your story. Remember, at the end of the day, it's not a guarantee that we all can get it. And actually, we all can't get it based on restrictions and limitations. So we're going to have to pick, unfortunately. And you want to be as competitive as possible so you get the pick. You know why you're applying. Remember that. You know why you're applying. So just put your heart in it and, trust in yourself and take a chance on yourself. Somebody say, oh, sure, we know me not either way, so I don't do it. And importantly, I almost forgot to mention this. I have spoken with some persons and they're like, oh, I don't meet the grade requirements. And you know what I told the persons? Submit the application same way. Submit, guys. If me say 3.0 GP and you have a 2.9, take a chance for yourself. How much job me apply for me never qualify for? How much things me apply for in life and me never qualify? You take a chance on yourself. So if it's something that you truly want, so you take a chance on yourself, especially if it's close. Say me some want a 3.0 GP, a 70 average, a 270 placement score, you get a 260, you try to get a 260. It's close enough when you submit the same way, you never know. You never know. So you can always take a chance on yourself. Okay? This document also has some frequently asked questions on it. So answers to a lot of questions are also here. Is the award restricted to one person? There will be at least 3 persons. One from each category: PEP, grade level 6 form, and college or university. So 3 persons in total, at least 3 persons in total. At least one from each category. How much money do I get? That will be dependent on, that will be decided. You guys will know that when you have been selected and you get your formal letter to know how much money you're getting, basically. And all of that. So this document has a lot of information there, additional questions. So, yeah. It's right on the application form. So once you go on the application form, then I click requirements, it's there. As we wrap up this meeting, if it's a case where I don't already have your email address, guys, if it's a case where you didn't register through the form, you can drop your email in the chat because I'll be sending some stuffs after the session to the persons who would have registered and I have their email. So if you got the link otherwise without registering, just drop your email in the chat if you want what I'll be sending after. So this form is as is. If I can find the original, I can fill this. Let me give me 1 second. Let me find the original. So I want to navigate it, but I can't navigate it because it's it has some required fields. Give me 1 second. We're almost through. All right. Remember, guys, if you have the applications, and I know some of you are working on the applications but you haven't submitted as yet, what you guys can do is to hold on. Sorry. How do I open this without you guys seeing the them submission? Okay, never mind. You guys can just submit it still, and the documents be submitted afterwards. All right, this is what I want from my perspective. Fill it. All right, perfect. So this just allows me to pass through it. So this is just your personal data. So your personal data is protected. It will only be viewed by the committee, and we won't do anything else with your personal data, guys. um, institution information. That is the school that you will be attending, that you will be using the grant for, right? Their tuition, all of them something here. Student ID, some persons have asked, I have a conditional acceptance. I haven't gotten my student ID as yet. Um, that's fine. In the meantime, just put a note there. If you can put a note, if it gives you space to put a note, or you put any, or here is where you put all, no, not there. You have a section where you put all the information. It's so sure. But some persons don't have a student ID as yet. Because what we need a student ID, guys, we'll be paying the funds directly to the institution, right? So in order for us to pay it over to the institution, we need to be able to say to the institution, we're paying it for this student, your name, your ID number, whatever, whatnot. So we need your student ID. If there are exceptional circumstances, of course, talk to us about it. We have exceptions. We're not difficult to deal with. This here, providing the banking details for the institution, not your banking details, the school. Because as I said, the funds will be paid directly to the school. So these are what we need to include: name on account number, all of them something there. Get those from the school. Tell them so you apply for one scholarship, one grant, whatever. The persons want the account info to send over the, tell them that and you get it. Here is the financial information part that you fill out. If you're employed, who is supporting you, estimated monthly salary, if you apply for student loan, if you get no student loan, blah, blah, blah. That's the financial aspect part. Please make sure it's consistent with whatever financial documents you're going to provide. Here's for your extracurricular activities. Just a little bit to get you to know you more of what you've been involved with. Anything, extra, just to know you a bit more. And usually involvement sets you apart for scholarships, just to see. It depends. Not necessarily, but it depends on the committee. So that's a note for future. Not specific to us, but just a note for future. All right, here, guys, is what I mentioned. So for section D, here I mentioned you have a space to write as much as you want on anything additional. So this is where I mentioned earlier where the parents can write from their perspective. So the child writes the essay. Remember, the essay is for the child. Prompt 1 is most suitable or easiest for the PEP students, or more relatable for the PEP students. May the parents write, may the students write their career as, me want to read that. Me want to, read what they want, where they see themselves, what they want to do right now. They're big dreams because kids are dreamers, they dream big. So we want to read all of that. So allow them to write their own essays. If you flawed, me not care, they're kids, make them write them essay. You as a parent now can put the financial stuff and all of that from your perspective in this additional space here. Section D, I give you guys a spot. See there, we give you a little space, actually a big space, to write anything additional. It's not limited to anything. It can be the most random thing that you want us to know, you put it here. So, and this is where you freely state whatever. So for the persons who are expecting, who haven't received their student's ID because it's a conditional acceptance, write it here. For the persons who haven't gotten their results as yet and will submit documents at a later date, write it here. For the parents, who want to know the financial stuff from their perspective, write it here. Anything additional, you write it here. So section D, this last space here. So any additional comments, anything you want us to know. Just 2 referees. The referees can be principal, teacher, GP, guidance counselor, pastor, them people there. 2 of them, make sure say people them know you. Because if you call the people them, they can't say who name so. Yeah, make sure they know you. And the last part is just you signing up. Now here's what many persons probably have been missing, because we have gotten document submission, but we haven't gotten this submission. Guys, at the beginning of the form, it says your application needs to be complete. Complete means that everything on this form needs to be completed and submitted. And you must upload all the required documents that are applicable to you. Now, here is where you sign. All right, we'll move on. You sign and you click see, understand, blah, blah, blah. This is the document section. The last thing you see on this page. There's a note please save on something. You can always save your form without submitting it. So you can start it out, guys. You don't have to wait till Friday to start fill out everything or wait till I get all the documents. Start the application, save as you go along, and you return to it. Start and return, just save and return to it at a later date. When you reach the document submission part, you don't have to click this before you can even submit. Please don't just click things without reading. This is saying you will submit irrelevant documentations by whenever. Of course, we mentioned that if it's a case where you don't have the documents available by August 15, you can submit after. We have it there as well. These can be submitted after you submit your application. So this, when you click this link, document submission link, it will take you to that form that I was on. This is the form that you submit your documents. You have to fill out. Put your name, your phone number. If it's a PEP student, put the parents' phone number and the parents' email. But if it's not a PEP student, you put your information. You upload a transcript. That's the essay, the prompt here, recommendation letter, financial status. Remember that if you're not working, guys, the financial status can be in the form of a letter to us. You write the letter to us, explain the situation, say, hey, I'm not working, nobody's supporting me, blah, 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 blah. Right? So you don't have a pay slip to submit, you don't have a job letter to submit. That's fine. You will still be considered. New students, letter of acceptance, your picture, and whatever, whatnot. All of them something here. You read the disclaimer. Please don't agree to no disclaimer without reading it. And of course, see this here. So once you submit this, you will get an email notification. Make sure you return to the first form, guys, and click submit. So this first one that we were on, I'm going to go back to it. Because when you click this link, and it's going to take you off of the form. When you go over here, you're going to take it off. So we'll put the link there again so you can go back to it. So make sure that you submit. Submit is different from save. Then the persons have been saving, not submitting. If they don't submit, we don't get it. So sometimes we see these come in, just this. There's no application for that, just documents. You need to submit both. I urge you guys to submit this one particularly before the deadline. You can always submit this one after, but remember you don't get a long time to submit the documents after. Because as soon as application closes, we're going to start review application. So you don't get a long time. So communicate with us, let us know. When we're reviewing, we will realize that you made a note to say, you submit application documents are pending, blah, blah, blah. We can discuss with you further from there and give you a deadline to submit the new documents. But you have to click submit for this to go through. When you click submit, what will happen is you'll get an email notification showing you a summary of your application and all of that. Only one application per person. So please ensure that the information is correct and submitted properly, accurately, and everything is complete before you hit that submission button. So just go back, review application in full, make sure everything all right, because it's one application that will be considered for you. So not sending 5 of them, can you make mistake? One. Just the first one you submit to. Because we can't read through so much. Okay? So, yeah. Please go, if you haven't submitted this, go submit it. We will attach the link to the application form, the document submission link, and the information sheet in an email and send it to you guys after the session has ended. Do we have any more questions before we close off? We're a bit over time, but do we have any more questions? All right. Oh, yes, more questions? Go ahead, Akili. Wait, the yes was for a question, right? You can unmute. All right, Judy, email noted. How do you know if it was submitted? You should, so for both of them, you should receive a submission email. So when you submit the, what do you call this? The original, the regular application form, you should get an email notification that you have submitted. So if I should submit right now, I would get an email.
Sorry about that. I stated that how do I know if it was submitted properly? However, I submitted mine, but it kind of pulled me back to a different link, and the link was blank for the application.
So I was wondering if it submitted the first one that I filled out or the blank one. So when you submitted
So
it, this the page reload and show you a blank form.
yes, when I went from the documents one back
Hmm.
to the application, it showed me a blank one.
Oh, all right. So when you got to this part, you would have clicked this, right? The submission link, and it would have bring you over here, correct?
Right.
But
But
when
when I
you
finished
return to this,
submitting,
mm-hmm, and you click this to
right,
return,
and
it
I
blank.
got a blank one. Yes.
All right. So you didn't end up, if you didn't end up and click this submit, then this one wouldn't have been submitted then. So what I'm going to do for you, were you saving as you go along? Were you clicking save as you go along?
No, when I saved, it actually sent me to log in. So what I did, I logged in and saved it. But I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why it returned to a blank one. I may have saved a blank one instead. I'm not sure.
Because when you save it, you should get an email that gives you a link that you can use to retrieve it later. So if I should click save, this is what it's gonna say. We've emailed you a link that you can use to continue later. So as you save, so if my advice, when you reach this last part, guys, you click save. So you can always go back to your email to get the link to pick up from here and just click submit after. But if it's a case where it happens where you went ahead, you submitted this, you're not sure if this is complete, I can check on it for you. So, and if it's a case where this wasn't completed, then I think I probably have to go over back or do it over if you weren't clicking save as you go along. Because what happened is, let me see. Where's my email? I can't find my email. But I was going to show you guys the email that they just gave me to say that it is saved and you get an email to literally retrieve it. So once you go in your email, you get a link and it will get a draft link. All right, so me get a draft link, copy it to clipboard, paste it here. So see there, it bring me back to the form that I was already completing. So if you weren't saving as you go along, it may not have been saved and it would be blank. So you probably have to do it all over. So I advise you guys, each section you complete, you save the form. A link will be sent to your email that you can always use to pick up where you left off. And especially before you jump off and go on the document submission link, click save. So you will get that link to retrieve your application to submit it. If you don't click submit, we will not get it. Save is only for you to save your progress. Submit is the only way that we will get it on our end. So, Akili, what's your full name? Or is Akili your first name or the second name?
First name, so it's Akili Hyman.
Okay. Oh, I think I saw you. I don't remember where I saw it. If it's on the documents or so. I'll double check for you and let you know this part if we got this part. Okay. So I will reach out to you and let you know.
Okay, thank you.
No problem there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time and your patience and your. Oh, will you be notified if the application is incomplete? Honestly, um, initially no, but I'm thinking yes now because I realize based on the two parts of it, too, some persons are submitting only one. So what I intend to do is to go through on both sides, look for all the applications received from this side and document submission and send an email. It may be overwhelming if it's a lot of persons. So some of you may get that email before the deadline because if we leave it after the deadline, it may be too many applications to go through individual to tell everybody to, hey, it's not complete, hey, it's not complete. So what I'm going to do for you guys over the weekend here is to go through what we've received thus far. I'm not going to read the application and so I cannot tell you if you completed all the fields. I'm only going to check to see if you submitted both parts and let you know that, hey, you only submitted documents, you didn't submit the application, and I'll reattach the link for you. Or, hey, you only submitted application, there was no documents, and I'll reattach the documents link. And I will go through and do that for you guys. But I cannot go through and tell you guys, hey, you did not fill out your name field. Hey, there's no phone number. No, we're not going to go through them like that. Okay? So that's up to you to ensure that you complete all fields and do that properly. But we will confirm if we received the application or not. All right. Any more questions? Love the interaction, guys. Thank you so much. We did not speak to ourselves the entire night. I love that so much. Wish you guys all the very. Oh, I'm looking down because you guys are actually on my phone, so that's why I keep looking down. But thank you so much for your time, your attention, and your patience and your interaction. We wish you all the best, and of course, remember to just do your best. Don't hold back. Put it all on the paper there. Submit your applications. Take a chance on yourself. And if you feel like you probably don't meet one requirement or two, you can still take a chance for yourself. But yeah, life is very funny, guys. All the best, and yeah, we look forward to reviewing those applications and reading those essays for sure, for sure. Bye, guys. Thank you so much. Good night.